Welcome back to the Daytona International Speedway. It is the opening weekend of MotoAmerica racing for 2022. We've just seen a fantastic opening race for the Twins Cup, which followed a fantastic race for Mission King of the Baggers. We're up next. It is Super Hooligans Round 1, Race 1, their first championship race. And I'm delighted that joining me now in the box is Roland Sands. He joins me and Roger. Roland, welcome to the box. And I think you were just walking in at the end of a thrilling Twins Cup race. If this is to go by, I'm going to need a voice before we go into Daytona 200 tomorrow. It started with you guys in Mission King of the Baggers. That kicked us off in fantastic style. The action continued fast and furious in Twins Cup. And I'm sure the Super Hooligans aren't going to disappoint either.
No, I mean, that Twins Cup race, that was an exciting race. I mean, I was watching on my phone coming over here. Guys were bouncing off the walls. I mean, they're, what, 5, 6, 7 wide, going across the stripe, going across the tribal. It was a mess out there, and those guys managed to keep it up and put on a hell of a show. And, yeah, that was fantastic. Congratulations to those guys.
Yeah, of course. We move on to our third race of the weekend before we move into Daytona Supersport Time Attack in a little over half an hour's time. But Roland, great news for the fans. The Super Hooligans, we saw them at Laguna Seca last year, and we chatted there. We talked a little bit about the bikes, and right from the outset, this class was popular, and great to see that it's back, not just for one round. We have a championship now. This is fantastic.
Yeah, it's really nice to get these bikes out here on the track at Daytona, and, you know, Super Hooligan class, it started out as a flat track class, and then we did a couple TT races, but really to come here to the home of American racing is something really special for Super Hooligan racing. We got KTMs, we have BMWs, we have Indian, who's a sponsor of the series as well. We got some Ducatis out there, you know, Harley-Davidson's, a little bit of everything. And within this class, we also have essentially a class within a class. Super Hooligan bikes, the quicker guys are on water-cooled bikes, and then we're going to have the Mission Foods American V-Twin Challenge, which is an air-cooled class. Runny Skaysbrook, he was the fastest one on an Indian Chief yesterday. So we're going to see how the air-cooled bikes do against the water-cooled bikes. We do have one air-cooled bike out there who I expect to see at the front of the grid, and that's Nate Kern. He's on a BMW R9T. Yeah, FTR 1200s. You know, we got the KTM 890. So this is going to be an exciting race, and I'm expecting to see a good scrap for the lead.
Thanks, Roland. As I said, we've got a lot of tech talk to talk about when lights go out, a lot to look forward to, because it is a 6-lap race, which we'll be bringing you live on MotoAmerica Live Plus after this.
The American Motorcyclist Association sanctions MotoAmerica Professional Road Racing, the home of the AMA Superbike Championship. We also sanction more than 100 amateur road racing events across the country, offering member discounts on lodging and gear and AMA member-exclusive roadside assistance options for emergencies. The AMA also supports your right to race. Backing the RPM Act, join today at AmericanMotorcyclist.com or call 1-800-AMA-JOIN.
The Cardo system for us means efficiency. When they're out there doing their laps, you can tell them what they need to work on while they're actually in the moto. We're working hard to hopefully implement it to where the guys can use it in racing. From a safety standpoint, it would be fantastic. I think it's the way to go. I think it's the way of the future, and I think it's going to be very successful.
VP Racing Fuels, the official fuel of AMA Pro Motocross, MotoAmerica, and American Flat Track. No matter what motorcycle you race or ride, amateur or pro, we have a fuel to make more power. Keep your bike running cool with VP Stay Frosty Coolant, available in 2 formulas. Race ready, designed to be glycol-free and track approved, and high performance with freeze protection for street applications. Visit vpracingfuels.com to learn more.
The Super Hooligan National Championship is brought to you by Roland Sands Design.
There's so much interest in the Super Hooligans category, including Tyler O'Hara, who just won the King of the Baggers race just a little bit ago, and he still has a suit on, helmet on, ready to go. I asked him what the biggest challenge is in going from one class to the next, and he said, really the biggest problem is that I've never ridden this bike, so it's just getting comfortable on it. It's feeling it out. While you put your gloves on, I'm going to jump in here just real quick. Where is your head at right now as you get ready to go back out there?
Just focus on my breathing and staying calm and just being present.
He is very calm. I can attest to that.
Yeah, absolutely, Jamie. I've never seen Tyler O'Hara so serious. He's, whooping and from the back of the grid, but he knows he's got a job to do again, Roland. And as obviously Roger Hayden's still with us in the booth. You've got to put what happened 45 minutes, an hour ago, out of your mind. That's done. You got the 25 points. You won that first race. This is a different kettle of fish. No mistakes. Lights out. We race again.
You know, like Tyler said, I mean, he's got 2 sessions on this bike, and he's never ridden it before this weekend. So, you know, he's got his work cut out for him, getting this thing dialed and getting comfortable. But as you could see, Tyler...
Yeah, we're just looking at Shalina Moreta, one of our female competitors. And I've got to say, hats off to her and also to Patricia Fernandez. A real opportunity potentially for a female podium in this one, just to change subject very quickly.
You know, both those girls know how to get it on the track. They know how to get down. So I'm excited to see how they're gonna go as well. It's gonna be a good fight at the front. We got, you know, Frankie Garcia on the Indian FTR 1200, and where did Frankie qualify? I should know that information. I own the damn team, right?
Well, yeah, we'll let you off. I mean, you've been too excited watching everything else, haven't you? So we'll let you off. We'll let you off. Jamie Howe is still down there, and of course we can see the motorcycles in the entrance to the pit lane, getting ready to go out on track. Jamie, what else is going on down there? We seem to have a slight delay, possibly, to the pit lane being opened.
There is a little bit of a delay. Most of the bikes were fired up, but now they're all shut off. You can hear the silence. You mentioned Shalina. 1 minute, I'm being told. You are just out here having fun. You're enjoying this moment. Heck yeah. What are you expecting for the race?
Oh man, I just love that I'm here racing at Daytona. This track has such history, and I'm blessed to be here with my family, with Nowaski, and with Ducati. This bike is so sick. I'm having a blast. I've never ridden a bike like this before. So I'm just out here trying to have fun, put it down once the green flag goes down, then we do what we do.
Good luck. Enjoy it.
Yeah, Roger, of course, we've talked about Shalina and Patricia throughout the qualifying. Look, she's still whooping and raring to go. Great to see. And as Roland said, Roger, great to see this championship opening the doors for racers from everywhere, of all sort of sexes. And it's a great, diverse championship.
Yeah, not only just that, just all the different brands that can come and race this class, all different styles of motorcycles, and just kind of opens the door for everything. And if this is kind of the bike that you're a fan of, you get to come here and see what exactly the limits of that bike is.
Yeah, Roland, obviously, I was talking to you down there before we started our opening ceremonies, and I said kind of cheekily, half-heartedly about building me a bag, or at least letting me have a go on one when I go to MotoAmerica. You flatly said no, I had to pay. These bikes look as though they may be a little bit more affordable. So, I mean, we are now live. I mean, my mum is watching, and obviously Roger would love to see me make a complete fool of myself on track as well as off it. So, what do you reckon? Could I have a little go on one of these things at one of the rounds?
Yeah, you know, we got actually a stock FTR in the van right now.
Has it got stabilizers, Roger's about to say? I cut you in there, buddy. I knew you were going to come and try and throw me under the bus. But no, I'm serious. It could be quite good to do. I'd love to ride one.
Yeah, you know, they're super fun on the track, and I think they're pretty accessible as well. I think anyone could jump on them and have a good time, you know. It's not a super bike.
Anyone, he says, like shaking his head at me, Roger. I'm getting it from both sides here, Roger. You're both ganging up on me.
Just bring your checkbook and you ride anything you want.
That's what I'm talking about.
Are you getting a percentage?
See?
Which side are you on?
There you go.
Unbelievable. I jumped on a plane for 12 hours to deal with this. Unbelievable. Right then, the riders are now out on circuit. They're making their way around for this sighting lap. They'll form up on the grid. And let's have a look then at the Indian starting grid, the Roland Sands Super Hooligans Championship. And I've got the man himself right alongside me. Andy DeBrino will start from pole position ahead of Tyler O'Hara. Can he make it 2 wins from 2 starts? We'll find out when lights go out. Corey West completes the front row of the grid. Back onto row number 3, Shalina Moreta, who we've spoken to in 8th. Cole King in 11th, and Rennie Skaisbrook, Roland, as you were saying, starting from 10th on one of the air-cooled machines.
Rennie's our fastest air-cooled bike. He's on an Indian Chief, which, you know, it's a pretty big bike as it starts. They're about 800-pound stock. So quite a bit of weight's cut out of that bike. We're going to see how Rennie gets himself going today and how well we can get that air-cooled bike around Daytona.
Head to row 7 and row number 8. 22 riders filling the grid for this first race of the first round of the championship. Jamie, the riders are making their way around this sighting lap. Not long now till lights out.
Well, most of the riders are making their way around the track. Tyler O'Hara, however, is not. They could not get that bike fired. They tried to push it down pit lane with him on it, trying to get some power to it. It did momentarily fire up, but they are now pushing it backwards. So he's going to have to go to the back of the grid. Assuming that he gets to start this race, that they can get the bike to start, he will have to start from the back.
Wow, I'm lost for words. Roger, we saw obviously an issue earlier in the King of the Bag as he started from the back of the grid. Let's hope he can get this started. But I think he had a problem in qualifying.
Qualifying toward the end, he had a problem too and didn't get to finish the last 5 minutes of qualifying. So maybe whatever that is, they didn't get sorted out. But even for him, if he has to come from the back, we've seen like he did in the baggers class, just a little more excitement for him.
Yeah, and I don't think Roland, I mean, I've not seen anybody start from the back of the grid and sort of pass 10 people into turn one like he did. I mean, if he has to start from the back of the grid again, we saw how fired up he was, as Roger said, an hour ago, and he managed to convert it to the win. Are we potentially going to see 2 back of the grid to the top step? I mean, that's never been done before.
Well, it'd be quite the show if he was able to do that. I mean, you see, Tyler is such a crafty guy. You know, his racecraft is really second to none, as we're seeing in the bagger race. And I think, you know, there's a bit of disparity too at the back of the grid. I bet you Tyler will be in the top 5. You know, coming into the last corner for sure. And he'll be on the first lap.
He's just trying to make a movie script.
I was going to say, yeah, absolutely. We're going to see it on Netflix or one of the other online platforms that are available to subscribe to. But it looks like they have wheeled him out onto the back of the grid as the riders come round to complete. But look at the number of rows in front of me. 11 rows. Is that right? 2, 4, 6, yeah, 10 rows. He's right at the back, the last of the runners. Well, he passed 10 people, Roland, before he got to the front of the grid at the last time. And they're pushing him even further back. Now what is happening?
Wow.
They really want to make it a challenge.
Now what is happening? Or are they pushing him off completely? Are they saying he can't start? What is going on?
At least, you know, hopefully he can start, and if he doesn't win, get some points, because it's a championship this year.
Just one thing I'm wondering, if that was just the sighting lap and they hadn't done the warm-up lap, I wonder whether they're saying he has to stay back and then he joins the grid at the end of the warm-up lap, if that's the rule. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if the rules are the same as in the World Championship. It would mean that he would have to start from the back, but he would miss out on the sighting lap, on the warm-up lap. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are, so I'm not even going to pretend that I do. His bike is running, so I believe that what will happen is that they will set the riders off on the warm-up lap. He won't be able to join, and then he will join at the back. Yeah, look, I think that's what it is. I think they're following FIM rules. I think that's what is happening. Don't quote me on that, but that is a similar situation that I've seen personally in the World Superbike. Yeah, now they're letting him join right at the very back, which... again, doesn't make any sense why they pushed him back. He was already at the back. It doesn't make sense, but that is the rule. I don't understand why, but that is it. So they are now letting him go. And anyway, he's in the race. That's the main thing. We are seeing so many firsts here at Daytona this weekend, aren't we?
I'm hoping they're not going to make him start from pit lane. I mean, they might make him start from pit lane.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I mean, I guess technically the argument would be he's already in pit lane, because the start line here is already in the pit lane, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
but they might hold him back at the start. I'm not sure.
I don't think so. I think he'll just have to start in the back.
I think he'll start on the back row of the grid. Obviously, we'll keep our eyes on Tyler O'Hara as the riders now make their way around. Nate Kern, that you were just mentioning on the BMW, qualified on the second row of the grid. This is a nice bike. I was able to walk around the paddock last night under an umbrella. Thankfully, we don't need them today. The rain has stopped. But looking around, nice bike this. Really tidy piece of kit from BMW.
Yeah, Nate's been racing that bike for quite a while, and he's been wanting to try and race it in MotoAmerica series, and there just hasn't been the right class. So, you know, the opportunity opened up for him to race that bike here this year with Super Hooligans, and, you know, he's got quite a bit of time on that bike. I think he told me, what's he got? Like, some crazy number, like 10,000 race miles on that motor. And they haven't changed the motor out at all. So he's looking forward to probably getting some more horsepower in that thing. And we're going to find out today if he's going to need it or not. I expect he will.
Yeah, and of course, as Roger Hayden had said earlier in the weekend, this is the first time that we saw Mission King of the Baggers and already grass tracking. That's the 38 of Arnold Hastings, who will start from the 4th row of the grid. And yeah, I was going to say, we've not seen Mission King of the Baggers or these guys on the bankings of Daytona. Jamie, final thoughts from you before we get the lights out. What can you tell us about Tyler O'Hara? We're sort of justicating and not really sure what the hell is going on in terms of him being on the grid. They pushed him back, they put him on the grid, he's done the warm-up lap. What's happening?
Well, now he will get to join the rest of the field from the back. He won't have to start from behind the white line, which is what the rule was because he missed the sighting lap. But now that he has made the warm-up lap, he'll get to start just at the very back of the field. I did confirm what the issue was. There was a connection problem to the fuel pump, so the crew has addressed that. They have no concerns at this point about the bike being able to go out there and race. He's just going to have his work cut out for him.
Okay, thanks, Jamie. Great work as ever, and for us in the commentary box, and for the fans watching at home, and for those here at the Daytona International Speed Week. I think we are in for something special when lights go out. Tyler O'Hara, who has won the Mission King of the Baggers Race 1 from the back of the grid a few hours ago, is going to be having to potentially do the same thing again. Riders then lining up. There is Tyler O'Hara. No problems on the warm-up lap. This is a 6-lap race for the Roland Sands Super Hooligans. Race 1 of a 4-round championship. 8 races in total, I believe, Roland, to determine this. A lot of points up for grabs. You cannot win the championship here, but you can lose it every single point. And Tyler O'Hara is going to have to be careful because his front wheel is in front of that box. And Roger, as we've seen so many times, even with the new rules in MotoGP, you cannot move. You've got to be behind that line. He's got to be careful.
Oh, he rolled back. I saw him roll back.
He did roll back. He did roll back. I think it was trying to just get the attention of the grid marshal. So, and Tyler's an experienced guy. He knows the rules. It's not like he's going to be over there. So, here we go. There are a lot of people at the back waving. They want to get this race started. Yeah, he's behind the line. There is Tyler O'Hara, fully focused with his eyes on the outside. It's exactly what he did in Mission King of the Baggers. And we've got a problem ahead. One of the riders being pushed off. There is a delay as one of the riders now is being pushed off the grid. And still we wait. The 951, that was of Clay Braun. And they're saying, no, that's it, race over. So a problem for the 951. Clay Braun is not going to take part now in this race. They push him to the side, obviously for safety reasons, just to get him behind the wall. And now we should see the start of this race. But still, they're holding them. And Roger, what do they do in this situation? Do they need to give them another sighting lap? No, they don't. They're going to go racing. Here we go then. Watch for the lights. The first race of the Super Hooligans Championship 2022 is go! Great start from Andy DeBrino from the front of the grid. And there in the back of the picture, look at Tyler O'Hara. He's already passed 6 or 7 guys into turn 1. Roland Sands, he's doing it again.
Tyler's no joke. My heart is racing right now, and we can already see Tyler making up quite a bit of time. I think he might be in the top 5 coming out of the chicane. I'm just going to say that.
Through turn number 3. Everybody's still on 2 wheels.
Andy DeBrino out to an early lead. We got Corey West pulling up behind him. Well, Corey's already trying to make a move on Andy. Andy won the last race at Laguna Seca, and he got that KTM working really well. We're going to see if that KTM 890 has the horsepower to deal with these Indian FTRs on the banking. Nate Kern slotted in 3rd, right behind Corey West.
Let's have a replay. Or rather, not a replay, sorry, live pictures of Tyler O'Hara on the left-hand side, who started from the back of the grid. He's already now up behind Shalina Moreda, who is running, I believe, in 9th position. Oh, he's pushing. Roger Hayden, he is pushing. He is fired up. What do you reckon? Can he do it? 2 back of the...
You can tell he's pushing. I mean, he knows it's only a 6-lap race, so he has to get down to business. And look how he's trying to get really tucked in, got his left hand off the handlebar, trying to get as arrow as possible.
Yeah, what do you think though, boys? I'm asking both of the co-guys in the commentary box here. Roger Hayden back off the grid to the top of the box for the 2nd time. Can he do it?
I mean, I think he can, but it's going to be difficult. 6 laps at Daytona can go by quick.
Yeah, what about you, Roland? What can he do? Can he get, well, podium even would be like a win, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if these front 3 guys can stay together and punch a bit of a hole for him, and he's able to make up a little bit of time on the infield, you never know what's going to happen. Tyler, if anyone can do it, Tyler's going to be able to do it.
Or if the top 3 starts racing really hard and slows up the pace a little bit, that would help him as well.
Yeah, that's what he needs, isn't it, right now? Because he was, obviously, this field a little bit more difficult, a little bit more tricky for him to find his way through. But this is what we're talking about. If these 2 guys who are leading this race, Corey West and Andy DeBrino, if they start fighting with each other, as Roger said during the Twins Cup race, you're going to lose 2 or 3 tenths. 12 corners. It's soon going to be a couple of seconds a lap, and maybe, just maybe, Tyler O'Hara would be able to catch up. Nate Kern on the air-cooled machine, and here comes Tyler O'Hara already up into 5th position. He's now looking for a P4. It is Patricia Fernandez around the outside. Ooh, just go steady, just go steady. There's a long, long way to go. And Patricia Fernandez, in 5th position. Here comes Tyler O'Hara, and through he goes now up into 4th position from the back of the grid then. So already on 1 lap completed, and he's up to 4th. Hard on the brakes. Oh, you can see how fired he's up, right? He is really pushing, Roger. Another masterful. That's how you do a first lap.
yeah, just really put his head down, and he knows it's a quick lap. And hopefully for him, he's probably watching this battle at the front and just saying, you know, battle it out, battle it out.
Yeah, he's rubbing his hands, isn't he, Roland? He's going, come on, boys, let's have it, let's have it.
You know, I mean, it's a bit of a gap in it. The gap really looks big when you do get on the bank, when you get in the infield. He's going to start getting a sniff of the back of these guys. And, you know, he as long as he can see them, and he's going to work on that gap and trying to decrease that gap. But he's got a lot of work to do, there's no doubt. Nate Kern is hanging with these guys. We got an Indian FTR up front with Corey West, the KTM 890 with Andy DeBrino, and Nate Kern is on that 90, and he's looking pretty good on that 90. The 90's got a great sound coming across the tri-oval too.
Yeah, I've not been able to get trackside so far this weekend and listen to the bikes as they come past, but it's still Corey West that leads this race. Indian leading, KTM from BMW. KTM gets the draft. And you're asking whether or not Nate Kern on the BMW would need any extra horsepower. He's hanging in there.
No doubt.
As they come through, Tyler O'Hara faster than anybody through the middle sector of this lap. He's now running a lonely fourth position. He's got a gap of 4.4 seconds to make up on this leading trio. As around the outside goes the BMW, some corner speed there, and the fastest lap of the race goes to the rider in third place, Nate Kern. But look in the back of the picture, Roger Hayden. I got a glimpse of the number 2. There he is, he's coming. Tyler O'Hara is coming.
He's about a half a second a lap quicker, but I think if he's going to catch these leaders with just only 4 laps to go, he needs to, you know, be a little bit quicker than a half a second.
And there he is. He's now broken clear of Patricia Fernandez, running in a very, very solid 5th position. Frankie Garcia in 6th, and then it's Josh Bird as they go through the middle sector. Fastest first sector again this lap for Tyler O'Hara. DeBrino from West, from Kern, who seems very, very good on the brakes, but a little bit of chatter there on the front end. What would cause that, Roger?
I think just, you know, the RPM as he's back shifting going through the gears, just causing the rear end to chatter a little bit.
High up onto the banking, and Tyler O'Hara is closing in, and he's another half second quicker than Nate Kern and Corey West on that first sector. He needs to find about a second and a half a lap, Roland.
Yeah,
to catch them, and then he's got to pass them. It's a bit of time.
He's got to pass them. Yeah, it's quite a bit of time. Quite a bit of time to make up, and that's going to be tough. I know he had his heart set on a podium today, but hey, you know what? There's another race tomorrow. Yeah,
and the championship is long, isn't it? This is not just a single race. Oh, he is really trying hard now. Keeps the front wheel on. Manages to somehow keep that bike on 2 wheels. Nobody can say he's not trying.
No.
As they come round the banking here, 4 laps to go. There'll be 3 to go when we cross the stripe. And as Roger Hayden said, 6 laps here at Daytona. It goes by pretty fast, doesn't it, Roger?
It does, and it looks like, as Roland was talking about, trying to see the top speed of the KTM. These two look pretty close.
Yeah, they're really evenly matched. They're evenly matched, and those KTMs, they rip pretty good, but you know, the difference at Laguna was quite a bit of time, so it's really, you can see the development of the FTRs and how these bikes are now where the KTM was at as well, and these guys are racing well together, and you know, it's great. Yeah, DeBrino styling.
Here's
going into the horseshoe.
Yeah, gets the gas on, just loses the rear end. It hasn't slowed him down. The gap was 4 seconds. The gap now between Tyler O'Hara and the podium is 2.4 seconds, and Nate Kern has a problem. Nate Kern is bashing the back of the bike. I don't know if you saw that. He's looking down. It looks as though Tyler O'Hara will take a potential podium. And these two fighting, Roger, you've called it. This could cost them.
Especially if they do this through the infield and not work together on the draft. This is going to work into Tyler's hand, but it just doesn't look like he's going to have enough laps.
Just looking on that last shot, we saw Nate Kern bashing the back of the bike and looking down. He's lost a handful of time as we wait to see the gap as they come through. There'll be 2 laps to go at the end of this one. Corey West still leading. That gap comes still down to 2.4 seconds between Tyler O'Hara and a potential podium. As Roger Hayden said, these 2 bikes very, very evenly matched.
I think Tyler just ran the fastest lap of the race, dropped at 58.4.
Yeah,
so he is making up time. I mean, he's a second and a half quicker than your leaders right now.
Yeah, 58.4.
Half a second.
Half a
second. I'm watching out of the commentary box window. We can't see the far side of the circuit, but there are clouds now starting to roll in, and this is why MotoAmerica have really squeezed the sessions together. Jamie, how you're down there. I know it was sunscreen earlier. What kind of conditions are they facing? It looks like the wind's getting up.
Oh, it's still very much sunscreen weather right now. It's actually the warmest that we've seen all weekend, so it makes what Tyler O'Hara is being able to do even more impressive. I mean, remember, he just did the King of the Baggers race less than an hour ago, so he's going to be tired by the end of this day. Track temperature's up to 102 degrees already. The air temperature is very humid right now with the storm system coming in, so it's physical right now.
Yeah, absolutely physical, and Tyler O'Hara is fighting through the pain, and there you can see the podium. This would be historic, ladies and gents. I've seen riders win from the back of the grid. I remember in the UK in British Superbikes, riders coming from the back of the grid. We've now seen it in Mission King of the Baggers. I have never seen the same rider come from the back of the grid to the podium, Roland, in 2 races, as Jamie Howe said, within an hour. I mean, this is a superhuman effort from Tyler O'Hara.
You know, Tyler can smell the back of Nate's bike right now, and he's going to be itching for that podium, I'll guarantee you. You know, and his hopes really lie if he wants to do any better with one of these guys in the front making a mistake, either Andy or Corey making a mistake. And, you know, it's a couple laps left to go. It's Daytona. It's a tough race, so we're going to see what's going to happen for sure.
A lap and a half to go onto the banking. It looks as though it's now a 2-horse race. We have a 2-rider fight for the win and a 2-rider fight for the final spot on the podium. Tyler O'Hara has now caught Nate Kern. Nate Kern, whatever that sort of intermittent problem was, he doesn't want to give this podium up now. He's keen for it.
Yeah,
he definitely has. Yeah, definitely has. He doesn't want to give it up. And why would you? He's not just going to roll over and let Tyler have it.
Lappers, too, could come into play as well.
Yeah. And I think that has been a change. Yeah, he has. Tyler O'Hara has got in front of Nate Kern. O'Hara is on the podium, and now they're coming into some lap traffic as well. This rider keeps well out of the way. Debrino and Corey West, and see the speed differential there between the leaders and the lappers, but everybody out there doing their own personal best times. Here comes Corey West, the slipstream, both of them with their hands off the bars. It is going to be a true photo finish. White flag, here we go, 1 lap to go. Corey West is very, very late on the brakes. He's going to have to be brave to go around the outside. Leans on him. Debrino toughs it out on the inside. He's going to go wide. Corey West comes back to the inside. And that's going to set him up lovely for the run up towards turn 3. And I tell you what, Roger Hayden, Tyler O'Hara isn't out of this yet.
If these two really go at it the last lap, he's going to be there.
He is there. Roland, what do you reckon?
If he's able to pull up behind these guys, and I think he's in a position where he's going to be able to get a sniff of this draft right now. I mean, it's going to come down to the wire. He's got momentum, and you know how it feels coming from the back and you get a little momentum. Man, you're going to do everything you can to try and get by these guys, and I know Tyler's going to do just that. He's right there.
Debrino still leads from Corey West, and then it is Tyler O'Hara closing. It was an 8-lap race that saw him come from the back of the grid to the win. It's only a 6-lap race here.
I mean, Corey's definitely in the position he wants to be right now. He set himself up to get the drive out of the chicane. I think Andy's been getting out of the chicane a little bit better, but you saw last lap, Corey just about came by him. I think he might be saving just a little bit.
I think he's put himself in the spot he wants to be in.
Debrino from Corey West. A 6-lap race is enough to get him on the podium. An 8-lap race, Roland, could have been enough for the win. Could have been enough for the win.
One more lap.
It's not going to happen. Debrino looks over his shoulder. That's a fatal mistake. That is a fatal mistake, surely, because it's going to be Corey West now that he's going to get the slingshot. West hits the front, or has Debrino timed this right? No, I think that's a mistake. Why did he look over his shoulder? Or is it? Here we go. And now Debrino is going to get the slipstream, and here comes Tyler O'Hara as they head towards the line. Debrino is going to slipstream for the win. It is going to be the win, and here comes Tyler O'Hara. Across the line we go. Less than a second covering the top 3. 0.2 of a second. Split our podium.
That was a hell of a last lap by Tyler O'Hara, 57.8. You could see the horsepower of the Indian catching up to those guys, punching a big hole.
And in terms of the top air-cooled Roland, that goes to Nate Kern, right?
Rennie Skaysbrook.
Oh, Rennie Skaysbrook.
American V-twin, Rennie Skaysbrook. He finished in 10th position. He finished, he's a little bit of about 36 seconds back, but it's a big disparity there. The Mission Foods air-cooled challenge. Rennie Skaysbrook, he's going to get up there on the podium as well. Man, what an exciting race that was. Tyler O'Hara just puts on a show for us, you know? I mean, incredible. Here is a replay. He takes
get back in.
Yeah, and here it is. He then gets the advantage, and I tell you what, one more lap and O'Hara could have had a sniff for the win there. He crossed the line a 1/10 of a second. This is obviously the aerial view. Here's another look at it. De Brino on the KTM, slingshots back past Corey West. The checkered flag goes out, another photo finish there, 77/100th of a second.
I think we're getting a good look at what this Super Hooligan Championship is going to look like the rest of the year right now. I mean, the KTM is a tough bike to beat, and he did absolutely everything he could, you know.
Absolutely, he did.
And he made the right move coming off the last corner.
Yeah, I was surprised. I didn't know why he looked behind him, but if that was part of the plan, it worked absolutely perfectly. As our race winner now comes back down towards victory lane, punches the air. It's a win for KTM. Indian second and third. Nate Kern in fourth. Patricia Fernandez in fifth place. Great ride from one of our female competitors in fifth, ahead of Frankie Garcia, Josh Baird, and Shalina Moreda. As we get a look at the results, the Lucas Oil helicopter showing us a bird's eye view of this fantastic complex. Shalina Moreda in eighth, and Cole King on the KTM 890 Duke. He'll be happy with that. A good result for the 55.
So we got 3 manufacturers in the top 5, you know, and that's what we're hoping for with the Super Hooligan class. We want to get as many manufacturers as we can competing in the series. So we got Indian, BMW, Harley-Davidson, and, you know.
Absolutely. 4 manufacturers inside the top 8 as well. So, yeah, really, really good. Also, while we wait for the podium celebrations, a reminder for the fans at the track that the Harley-Davidson and Ducati track walk ticket holders should meet at gate 134 in the fan zone at 4:45. So again, just a reminder to the fans that are trackside, and if you are holding the Harley-Davidson and Ducati track walk tickets, make your way to gate 134 at 4:45. And again, bird's eye view and another super fan at the Speedway here, as all smiles for Andy De Brino. Roland, I know you're going to head down there. Thank you for being with us. Can't wait for tomorrow.
Thanks, guys. That was exciting. And yeah, I'm going to head down there to the podium and give Tyler a handshake and give all these guys a handshake. All the Super Hooligans, all the guys from Quaid came out here from California and loaded a truck up, 9 bikes they brought out.
Wow.
So I just wanted to give the Quaid guys a shout. You know, they brought all their air-cooled bikes out to run in the Mission Foods Championship. So
awesome stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
And yeah, we're glad to have them here. Yeah. Glad to have them here. Thank you, Roland. We will be, of course, catching up with Roland Sands tomorrow. We have race 2 of the Mission Food King of the Baggers and the Roland Sands Super Hooligans. A kiss from his better half there, and the Motul hat going on. Andy De Brino. Class ride. That was good.
Yeah, played it perfect. Like you said, we thought he made that little mistake when he looked back coming out of the chicane, but got back in that draft and, you know, played it out perfect.
Just over Andy De Brino's shoulders there, the gentleman on the left-hand side, that's Jeremy McWilliams, who finished just outside of the podium in the Mission Food King of the Baggers. And he's, of course, down there to celebrate with Tyler O'Hara because they're teammates in the Mission Foods. Brian J. Nelson there, the photographer for MotoAmerica. And of course, you can see all of the exclusive photos on MotoAmerica.com. And you can also follow the action on social media as well, at MotoAmerica on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the YouTube channel as well, the Discord server. And nice to see those two shaking hands there. They enjoyed that. You know what it's like. I mean, surely on one hand, a bit disappointed not to win, but when you have a battle like that to the end, you've still got a smile on your face.
Yeah, a little disappointed, but, you know, you have to show good sportsmanship. It was a clean race. They went back and forth each lap, and, you know, just for Corey, you just have to, you know, be a little bit better tomorrow, but he's right there.
Yeah, absolutely. We're still waiting in victory lane for Tyler O'Hara to make his way back down here. And I suppose we can forgive him for taking a little bit longer and waving at the fans. I mean, have you ever seen anyone go back of the grid twice in the same day to the podium? I mean, that is something special that the fans have seen here. As I said, still lots to look forward to today here at Daytona. We've got the Daytona Supersport Time Attack, the top 12 riders after the combine qualifying for the Daytona 200. They will run in a 15-minute time attack session, a bit like a Super Pole session that we see in Europe, and that will determine the top 12 positions on the grid for tomorrow's 80th running of the Daytona 200 here at the Daytona International Speedway. A little bit later on tonight as well, a little bit later in the day, we have the Pit Stop Challenge and the Dunlop Autographs session in Victory Lane. But Roger, here's a quick highlights repackage of what we saw. We see a great start from everybody at the front. Arguably the best starter, Tyler O'Hara, once again going down into turn 1, and he made pretty slim pickings going into turn 1. He was already halfway through the field by the end of turn number 2.
He knew he had to get a good start, but these two made a break pretty quick. Andy DeBrino and Corey West. Also, Nate Kern was there early in the race, but these top two just had a little bit of pace. But you can see Tyler O'Hara just working his way through the field lap after lap.
Yeah, O'Hara was up to 4th by the end of lap number 2. He then slotted himself with 2 laps to go into a potential podium finish. We'll never know if there'd been another lap, whether he could have taken the win, but he managed to close in on the leading 2. They looked at each other several times towards the end of the race. They exchanged positions more than a dozen times in the final 2 laps. KTM versus Indian, treating the fans here to a really, really special opening race. Then we see the slipstream effect here down the banking. DeBrino went back to the front, while all the time Tyler O'Hara was closing in. Corey West makes another bid for the win. DeBrino would slot back in behind him and ultimately draft past to take the win by 77/100ths of a second. A quarter of a second, Roger, covers the top 3. We have seen close racing all weekend long. I think the circuit just lends to it, doesn't it? The nature of the circuit lends to it. As we have a look then at the results, we've talked about the top 3. These are the championship standings, of course, the same positions as we saw in the race, because we've only had 1 championship round. Patricia Fernandez picking up 11 championship points, Shilina Moreda on 8. And the good news for us and for the fans is we get to see it all again. Oh, and Tyler O'Hara with a technical problem on the slowing down lap. That's why we were waiting for him.
Hey, at least it made the race. It lasted just long enough.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So he does make the race, and he is now being brought back down in towards Victory Lane. And I'm sure the fans will have been able to get some pictures of that bike up close as he makes his way back on the wrecking truck through the paddock. And he should be down there in Parc Fermé and the podium in a couple of minutes' time. As Roland Sands said, though, I think that is the shape of what we can see this year. I mean, Tyler O'Hara would have been in the mix. Are we seeing potentially a three-rider fight for the championship with Nate Kern potentially the guy that could pick up the pieces? Was that your take on what we're seeing so far?
It looked like the top 4 guys, I think, are definitely going to be the 4 to battle it out all year. But also, I think there's going to be some guys that pop in mid-season, maybe do one race, their home race, that are going to be competitive as well.
So O'Hara makes his way back. Get ready for... Oh, and he's looking as it's fuel gas. He's run out of gas. He's signalling there that they ran out of gas. Well, that can happen to the best of us. That can happen to the best of us.
Hey, as long as it made the race, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, that's right. You made the checkered flag, and you take the points, and that's Steve Scheibe, I think, down there as well, who was involved last year with Hector Barbera. He's now involved with this program.
As long as I don't have to push it back in and it makes the race, I'm good.
Absolutely. Just put a little bit more juice in it for tomorrow. Maybe he would have been all right, but he was just wringing its neck so much that he used every little ounce in the tank. But no, great to see. And he has now made it back into the paddock, and he'll make his way through to the podium for the podium celebrations. As I said, we want you to get involved. Hashtag MotoAmerica if you want to get involved in the championship. This is round number 1 of the series for the Mission Foods King of the Baggers Super Hooligans. Roland Sands Super Hooligans, to give it the correct name, and of course the MotoAmerica Twins Cup Championship. The time attack for Supersport will be up next on MotoAmerica Live Plus, as we're still looking at live pictures of the podium and having to wait a little bit longer for their trophies because of course we can't start the podium celebrations until Tyler O'Hara is down in Victory Lane. Nice to see so many fans down there giving us a wave as well. Yeah, we see you on the camera, little fella. We see you down there. Great to see so many fans down there, and somebody else who is down there as well is our very own Jamie Howe, and she has got, I believe, Andy DeBrino.
Andy DeBrino's had a chance to cool off now that you've been waiting here. You've been soaking in the moment. You've taken the pictures already. The slingshot move, what did you see in those first 5 laps that made you change your focus for the last one?
Well, I knew Corey was right there, wasn't getting away, and Nate was up in the mix for a bit, and I knew Tyler was going to be on the hunt, so I was just trying to manage the race. This is my first time racing here, and every lap I ride, I'm learning something new and, you know, feeling the bike out, and I just kind of kept a look back and seeing where everyone was, and from all the videos I'd watched and studying ahead of time, I knew that I couldn't be up there up front coming down that last bank. So yeah, I rolled out of it a little bit, and Corey went by, and I was able to get back in the draft, and it's crazy. We can draft multiple times in these straightaways on the banks, so pretty unreal. I just can't believe this moment. I drove by myself Friday morning with my bike and gear, got here Tuesday, was alone loading in Wednesday, working on my bike, and then finally yesterday my crew got here, Eric Dorn, EDR Performance. Can't thank them enough. This is a dream to be out here riding my KTM and in front of all these fans at Daytona.
Well, all of the hard work, the studying, it all paid off. You have just won at Daytona. That's Andy DeBrino, our race winner for today. I'm going to go ahead and walk over to Corey West. Talked about that battle. You were in the thick of it the whole time. At what point did you think, you know, I have a really good chance of winning this thing and then taking it home to second?
Yeah, I looked back with like 2 to go, and me and Andy had kind of made a breakaway, so I was just trying to stick close to him. His bike looked pretty good in the infield, but we definitely had some power with this Indian. And I knew I didn't want to lead it out of chicane. I thought I was in the catbird seat, but Andy kind of checked up there on the banking, and I knew Tyler was coming, so I didn't really want to roll off. And unfortunately, he drafted me right there at the finish. But second place, this is only my second time riding this bike, and big shout out to the Saddlemen, Lloyd's Garage, Indiana, Charlotte, St. Paul, Mission Foods, Motul guys. They've worked really hard, and this bike's a ripper, so hopefully we can get this win tomorrow.
Might not be a lot of experience, but you make it look easy. Nice job. And Tyler O'Hara has made his way over. No bike, that's still out on the flatbread, but the frustration at the start of this race, having to come from the back to the front, not having the experience on the bike. How were you able to get your head down and make this happen again?
You just got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, really. Just adapt and do your best and let the race come to you and ride within your abilities. And just hats off to the whole Roland Sands team, Indian Motorcycle. This new champ FTR 1200 is awesome, and she's got legs, and she's thirsty too, and she ran out of gas on the cool down lap, so unfortunately she didn't make it to the podium. But I want to thank our sponsors, Geico and Dunlop, Motul, everybody that supports this program, and SDI Insulation, Alpine Star 16 helmets, just everybody that contributes, the Super Hooligans, the So Much Foods, and the one and only Mission Foods. Thank you.
Congrats.
Thanks, congrats to Tyler O'Hara. And of course, with that delay in the podium celebrations, we don't have long to wait, Roger. We're getting ready for the time attack for the Daytona 200. We're about to find out which of the top 12 after the combined qualifying will be on pole position. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
The Super Hooligan National Championship has been brought to you by Roland Sands Design.
There's a lot of potential in this box. Now, will you develop laser focus like Sloane Stevens? Change the way people hear the world like Mikala Schmitz? Will you out-hustle, outwork, outplay like Justin Turner? Change the way people see the world like Robert Vargas? Well, that's up to you. But for them, it all starts here. The right food matters. Fresh, organically sourced, ready-to-eat meals delivered to your door. Fresh and lean. Feed your potential.
It's amazing. He's talking about motorcycle insurance, and people love it. Of course, they love the savings they're going to get with Geico, but it goes beyond that.
You deserve to save.
Heard that before.
You deserve to save. I know.
I need you to hear me. You deserve to save.
I deserve to save.
I mean, he has a way of making you feel seen.
Bundle car and motorcycle insurance and save at geico.com.
The all-new 2022 Suzuki Hayabusa. The quickest, most advanced and aerodynamic Hayabusa ever. Engineered to explore the absolute limits of its potential. And yours. Developed with Suzuki's intelligent ride system, giving unmatched control and rideability. And shaped to demolish drag and cut through wind with an unmistakable silhouette. The all-new Hayabusa is ready. Are you ready for it?
The 80th running of the Daytona 200 from Daytona International Speedway is about a day away. 2 rounds of qualifying already done, but now it's time for our time attack. Welcome everyone. I'm Greg White, sitting alongside 2-time champ Jason Pridmore, who's also won more than a couple races here at Daytona in his storied career as a motorcycle road racer. So time attack is going to set the grid for the first 4 rows as we have the 12 of the fastest that qualified for the Daytona 200. And here's a look at who's in the field. Jason Pridmore, Josh Herron, Josh Hayes. That's right. Kevin Olmedo, Gagne, Lockoff, and Cameron Peterson.
Yeah, got a couple other guys here as well, Greg. Richie Escalante, Max Engels, Danny Eslick, Brandon Posh, Jeff May, Sheridan Rice. And really the key here is who you're going to get to help you, draft. I mean, we've got a couple teammates out there in Brandon Posh and Danny Eslick, also with Cam Peterson, Jake Gagne. Lockoff, of course, has a couple different teammates, Jeff May and Escalante. So it's going to be interesting to see if these guys roll around with each other. There's some guys here like Sheridan Marias, who's got some ties with Cam Peterson. But Josh Hayes, it'll be interesting to see who he gets hooked up with. He was hooked up with Max Engels.